Hi everyone. Well, today we're going to talk about relationships, okay? Everybody complains about, oh my goodness, my boyfriend doesn't listen to me, my wife, my husband, my significant other, my partner, whatever you call them. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty because it takes two. Now, what am I meaning by it takes two? Sometimes it's like a partnership when you're dancing. It takes two to tango, literally. So when you're having a conversation, or I should say a dialogue between two people, how is the communication going? Because when you have the lack of communication, it gets really, really, really hard for there to be any flow between you. And sometimes it's very hard to understand where that other person's coming from. Now, it's taken me a very extreme long time to understand what real relationships are about. And I say this because of all the different relationships that I have been, from one person overpowering the other, or one is more vocal than the other. Currently, right now, I'm in an amazing relationship where we're able to communicate, like sincerely communicate. And the way that we communicate is point blank, is we listen to each other. That's like one of the most fundamentals things in a relationship, is listening to your partner about anything and everything. Even if you don't agree with their opinion about the matter, you actually need to take the time to listen to them and try to put yourself in their shoes. Okay? Because it will slowly take away the arguments that you have. And the only time that myself, I should say, or if I'm using proper English, my boyfriend and myself, when we're arguing, it's because of the lack of communication or the misunderstanding or the miscommunication that we're having with each other, if you're catching my drift and you're following along. Because currently right now, I know I'm probably not making a whole lot of sense. But the point being is, sitting down, and I'm really big into lists right now, write down things that are bothering you. Either in your phone, on a piece of paper, in a book, or notepad, whatever floats your boat. Write those down. Because once you get it solidified in your head, okay, these are the things that are bothering me about our relationship and whatnot, and you can actually go to your partner and say, hey, this is what's going on in my head. We need to talk. And then you give yourself 5 minutes. Put on the timer. Literally, put on the timer. Put that timer on. Maybe not for 5 minutes. Let's start very small. Let's do about 2 to 3 minutes, because some people think 5 minutes is way too long. Just pick something. And then once you're done with whatever you picked, cross that one off. Leave it alone. Don't discuss it again, because you've already had that discussion about it. Then it's their turn. And there's not going to be any interruptions while the other person's talking, because I know that is really frustrating for my other half when I interrupt him and he's in mid-sentence and I jump in thinking I know what he's going to say. In fact, that's always not the truth. So, if you're wanting a happy relationship, communication is key in treating each other fairly. Because, yeah, because of our lack of communication, does that sometimes create more issues? Yes. Does it create trust issues? Yes, it does. And I think, and I'm probably going to get some haters out here, but I think with my generation and then the generation underneath me, if I must tell people, I am 22, going 23 in May. Woo woo. Big 2-3, right? Now, a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, Aubrey, how the hell does a 23-year-old know how a relationship should be? Well, I've already been married and I'm still learning. That's the thing. I am not that perfect. I will not profess to be. But what I have learned in the relationships that I've been in, I want to share, because we as a nation, as the world, are thinking what media is projecting for love is the truth. And my darling little girls, the first man you meet is not going to be your true love. And for those that actually has happened, I'm so happy for you. But that's not always the case. We're not always going to find our Prince Charming by kissing frogs. No, we're just going to deal with broken hearts and the whole 9 yards. And something else that we need to learn in what to do in relationships is, yes, we have baggage. We have serious baggage. Sorry, I can't talk. Some of us have some deep, dark, cruel things going on in our brains that have happened maybe in relationships that we've been in, or whatever has gone into growing up. Well, I'm here to say there is a way to work it out. Now, trust. You need to trust the person that you're in a relationship with. Because if you don't, it's going to fail and it is going to crumble. I say this because I'm not married anymore. I lost my trust in my ex-husband. Now, I'm not going to go into details, but what I will say and do say is, because of the lack of communication that him and I had, and the lack of trust that him and I had, that's what destroyed our relationship. Point blank. So this is why I'm wanting to share these things with you guys, is so that you can actually mend your relationship, or you can continue to flourish in your relationship, or when you are ready for that relationship, you can flourish and thrive. Okay? Because relationships aren't easy. They're not. And the media projects them as they're these wonderful things, and I'm not sorry, it's not all roses and chocolates. It is thorns, it is knives, it is broken hearts and crying sometimes. Like, sometimes it's so painful, to be honest, because you want everything to be okay, but something that you've done to hurt that person that you love so much, and you're like, oh crap, what can I do? Like, what can I seriously do to figure out how to fix this and mend this? And sometimes you can't. Sometimes you sincerely can't. And that's all right. And I say that's all right because there are stepping stones that you have to take in order to make it a flourishing relationship. And yet sometimes we don't even want to do that because we want to have what did this guy who's a very well speaker, and I can't remember his name, and I'm so sorry, but he's like, we want that relationship that's through the phone, that's like picture perfect and very well known. We want to make sure that everybody knows that everything is okay, but inside it's not going to stay. It's that Photoshop Pinterest pictures that's everywhere in the world, but at the exact same time it's not gonna unfurl. Our lives are so unperfect. They're unsound that nowadays it's like Cinderella that lost her shoe, and we're going all around. Now I know that might not make sense, but in reality, here it is. A relationship is something that you must work for. It's something for you that you need to live for, because at the end of the day, it's not going to be those pictures. It's not going to be your friends. It's not going to be this world revolving around you. It's going to be you and that friend, that you and your spouse, that you finally loved in and made them your spouse. In reality, our friends who we end up hanging out with are sometimes the closest people that we turned out to love. And when we take the time to understand each other, we will find out that we are very clever. Because when you show the kindness and understanding and clarity, everything will be clear and there will be serenity. So take that time to really find your rhythm, your rhyme, so that you and the one that you love can get back in time. Because when there's arguments and fights, those don't make it right. You're traveling down a very dark path, and you might not be able to get back. So take that time to communicate, to be for real, and to breathe inwardly into oneself. Because once you find your rhythm together, it'll be a flow that is unflowable. Sorry, sometimes things come out of my mouth that I feel that are needed. And yes, sometimes I wasn't even trying to rhyme. But I hope all of you out there, I know this video is very sometimes difficult to follow. So leave comments down below. Let me know what you think, what your thoughts are. because in reality, we need to start fixing ourselves, our relationships, to make this world a better place, my friends. Have a great day. Till next time. Bye.